Hello, good afternoon. My name is Becky, Socks for Mom. Welcome to my FlossTube. If you're new here today, welcome. This is a FlossTube about my crafts, the things I like to stitch, the things I like to quilt, knit. However, there hasn't been much knitting lately, but I have been quilting, and I don't have any of that to show today, but I do have cross stitch. I'm in Denver visiting my daughter, and we've had a fun week. I've had a couple finishes since I was last with you guys. They aren't with me, they're back home. One I just finished framing, and the other I'm looking for a frame. So I will share you pictures of those. The first one was a finish I had in January of, it's a Blackbird designs book called Shall I Compare You to a Summer Day? And it's the Adam and Eve sampler. I got this as a kit from Country Sampler in Spring Green, Wisconsin, I think. And so Spring Green typically will change a color or two. And so I think that they did that. I couldn't tell you right now what they are because all those notes are at home. And plus, if you want to stitch it that way, you should contact them. And they will be happy to provide you with their changes as long as you get the thread from them or whatever. So that was a fun kit, and here's a picture of it. Next up is the ES Spot Sampler by Of Female Worth. And I stitched this with my Let's Get It Done with Assignment girls. And we have gotten a lot done in the last couple years by doing it this way. So I forgot who led this one. It may have been me, it may have been Karen. But this was an out of print pattern. But it came back into print, I think 1894 Stitchery brought it back as a PDF. I'll put information about that down below. But we used all the call for threads. And I can't remember off the top of my head what this one is stitched with. But I love it. I pinned it and I basted around the sampler as far out as I wanted to go. That doesn't make sense. I followed Nicola Parkman's video that she put up on how to pin and lace a sampler. It's excellent. I'll put a link below. Before that, I used Kitten Stitcher's method of just pinning all the way around. Nicola, I like hers because she based a thread around the sampler the size of your mat board, and you basically match the corners of your basting and stretch it out that way, and you have it perfectly centered, which is a whole lot easier than eyeballing and measuring and eyeballing and measuring and eyeballing and measuring. So I used her method and I was quite pleased with the result. I bought this frame, had it made at Hobby Lobby, and the fillet also. And I think it looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. and those are ES Spot. We did, all of us girls, we did replace the ES with our own initials. All right, next up, let's get going on what I brought. First up, I want to show you an American Eagle by Blackbird Designs. And this has been around for a very long time. I actually went back through all my photos on Instagram and started at the very oldest, and I'm working forward from my very oldest whips. I want to get them done. And this one I have tried to work on several times, and I just don't like the 32 count weeks die works. And I end up putting it away, but I'm not going to this time. So here is what I have. I do believe those red berries down there, I do believe I changed my red to cherry cobbler instead of used brick, I believe is what it was. But I'm gonna focus on that roof. I am actually working on this for both of my number draws for Whipco. So that will be 20 days worth of that I will work on it. Usually when I work on something, I will stitch 3 threads, and that's usually about an hour. And so I've already worked on this 4 days, I think, so I've got 16 more days and hope I can get it done. American Eagle by Blackbird Designs. All right, in the group, oh, here are the threads. With the bling. The next thing I'm working on with my assignment girls is Winter Rose Manor. And I started this when it came out. My friend Christine of Hollis Hands Create, we planned and kitted and had a start in the month of December, I believe, when right after this came out. And Christine, of course, she finished hers. She finishes everything that we stitched together. I got bogged down in the color of the house, and I kept switching colors and trying them out, and I eventually just put this aside because a squirrel ran by or something. And so let me show you what it looks like. I'm a little behind in my assignments right now because I actually left my threads in Denver when I was here last time, and so couldn't do all of the assignment. But this is what I have. So this is where I left off with all my various colors. I'm in the process of picking that out. So we started up here, and we've had, this is our 6th assignment, and this is 5 assignments, I believe. And last week we were supposed to finish this, stitch 6 trees down there, stitch all those trees, and I haven't gotten that far. So I will be working on that. I believe we're supposed to work on the gate right there next week and finish off the trees with the bottom vine. So I've got a lot of catch up to do. But when we get to the house, I'll be a little ahead. So hopefully it'll all even out at that point, or I can get caught up. I made Christine and I a bag. Brenda Gervais was selling this panel. And so I made us each a bag. And this is the thread keep that I was selling at the time to go with the Winter Rose Manor. So that is Winter Rose Manor, American Eagle. Next, I'm going to talk about Sneek and Elizabeth Furniss, but I'm going to turn the camera around so that I can stand up. So the next thing I want to share with you is Elizabeth Furniss. I like to call her Lizzy. So this is the sow that I'm doing with 3 other friends. Yvette, Christy of Crosshatch Quilts, Olivia of Pumpkin Hollow Quilts. And we started this on Yvette's birthday. It's been a lot of fun. And each month Yvette gives us an assignment. And last month we tackled the enormous tree, which to my surprise I was able to get done. And I turned the camera so that I can stand up and show you Lizzy without there being glare behind her. So here she is. She's a big girl. And 3 of us are stitching it on Bees Knees by Seraphim Fabrics. And Christy is stitching hers on a lighter, and I kind of forgot what it was. Olivia and I are stitching ours with DMC, and Yvette and Christy are using the silks. So here is the enormous tree. I'm sure you have heard Olivia talk about this being Elvis and Loretta, but they're pretty awesome. And I am right now working on this verse up here and the center cartouche for this month. And half of a page of the checkerboard square, which is a lot of fun to stitch on. I ran out of 501 DMC, so I need to go get some of that. But here's Lizzy. We're right on track to finish her in October, I think, or November, right before Olivia's birthday. And she has something already picked out for her birthday, and I may join along, but that's her story. So once again, the massive tree. And since I'm over here, I decided I will go ahead and show you something I'm stitching for February, which is Sneek by Longdog Samplers. This is my next to oldest whip. And I put it on my magic list this year for my Tudor Rose Sampler Guild, which is my annual Good Intentions contract. I'm hoping for a finish. I'm about halfway done, and here it is. There's a Tudor Rose needle minder we got, and I'm stitching this on 18 count Aida, and I am using DMC 115, I think, which is variegated, and I just love how it looks like I'm stitching with lots of different colors. There's an awful lot of back stitching. But I've been listening to a book by Louise Penny, who is the author of the Inspector Gamache series. And they made the first book into a show on TV called Three Pines. So there is Sneek. And I started this for my husband and I, called Come to the Garden for our bedroom. We both really like this. And His Eye Was on the Sparrow was our anniversary piece, and this was one we had picked for the next one. But I just really have not been happy at all with the colors on the linen I picked. I think this could be Heartland if I picture this plus. Those colors just weren't really popping. And so I looked at the back of the color of the chart, and I saw that it used colonial parchment by hand-dyed, handmade by Stephanie. And my friend had just told me about this, and so that it's one of her favorite colors. And so I ordered some, and I really like it. So it's cooler than the Heartland. And so I held the colors up on it, and I like them so much better. Look at how that rust pops on that. So I will be restarting that because it is a piece that my hubby and I have picked out. And this is 36 count. So when I made that decision, I thought, well, what can I do with this Heartland? And something came to mind instantly, because I have long loved this pattern. The zebra that Mama GB did. And so I found out the lady to email, and I'll put that in my notes, the lady to email to get this PDF. It was five British sterling pounds, which came out to be about $6 or $7 English. And I just love this. And so it calls for $37.99, a DMC, and the other color is a white color, or light color, 38.66, and I'm gonna have to go get that. But I held it up to this because to me this kind of looks like desert sand, or like you're in Africa where all the zebras are. And it will be like this. And I like that. It's not black. It's kind of like a, it reminds me of gunmetal or charcoal maybe. But on this, it'll look dark. So I will be stitching that. And then I won't feel so bad about not finishing the other one. So that, my friends, is all the stitching I have to share with you. I will talk about a little bit of life stuff that's been happening this week. I've been in Denver, and it's been a fun week. I redeemed some, my daughter gave me tickets to see To Kill a Mockingbird here in Denver. And Atticus was played by John Boy Walton. And I watched the Waltons in the 70s, late 70s, I think. I think it started when I was in maybe a senior in high school, and I watched it through college maybe, or I don't know, but I've watched it on and off through the years, and I just have loved it. I used to live in Virginia, so it's beautiful, and I love where they live. So we saw that. We went and saw that one night. And then yesterday, we went to the Brown Palace in Denver and had high tea which is something my girls and I like to do. We like to go to tea. And so we did that. And right now my daughter just took off to Gunnison to go to the hot springs with a friend of hers and their husbands to celebrate her birthday. So Brinkley and I will be all alone the next couple days, and that's fine. I'm gonna put a couple pictures of him in at the end, and I'll put a couple pictures of the play and of the Brown Palace. And I think this is probably my last trip here until June. I'll believe it when it happens, but hubby is kind of ready for me to not keep coming up here for a while. So we miss each other. So that's it for now. I hope you guys are having a great time stitching on whatever you're stitching on. I hope you're well. I hope you're just doing well and coping with things. So yeah, that's all I have to share with you. And I hope this isn't too quiet. I hope you don't have to crank up your volume, but I really don't want the boy to wake up right now. Take care. Bye.